Hello and welcome. This is Falling into Ease. Turn your stress to success. And I am Eliza Bloom Robinson, transformational catalyst, best-selling author, speaker, and spiritual facilitator. I'm so glad that you have joined us today. I have two questions for you as we begin. The first is there on the screen. Is your success causing you stress? And the second one, would it be all right with you if life got easier? We're going to explore in this webinar how your success may be causing stress and how you can use stress to encourage more success. And we're going to explore the idea of how to fall into ease, even in the midst. Now, the idea of ease, I want to spend just a moment here. The idea of ease is not necessarily that life gets totally easier, right? That life is easy. But the idea of falling into ease is about landing into the sweet spot in your life, the sweet spot where things flow together, the sweet spot where you are in a flow, the sweet spot where you can access your purpose, your passion, your connection. Falling into ease is landing in the sweet spot where you can breathe in the midst of stress, where you can be inspired in the midst of overwhelm, where you can move into action in the midst of procrastination. So, again, I say welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm wondering if you might be a person who, by and large, has a life that works for you, who is quite successful in one or two or even more areas of your life. And yet, it still may be easy to lose sight of your success because there's this one thing, this one pattern, this one thing that shows up again and again and again. So picture the tree, right? Picture a nice big full tree. And picture that it is lush all the way around, throughout the tree. And feel what that feels like. The trunk is strong, the roots are solid. And then picture like 3/4 of that tree sort of going dormant and the one getting even more and more and more successful, right? And feel how that tree could be falling over or have the potential of falling over. This is what I see so many times in entrepreneurs, in life, really. And that super success in one area of life can overtake your life in such a way that the rest of the tree goes dormant or gets unhealthy or gets diseased. Well, the way we see that, the way that shows up is sometimes a person can rise up and make a ton of money really, really fast, but then all of a sudden their health goes to pieces. They gain weight, they get sick, or the money gets really, really great and the relationships go wonky. A lot of people who rise to quick success all of a sudden feel like they've lost their friends, or they've lost the safe place, or they've lost a connection. There's a losing, there's a loss, there's something that happens when we haven't balanced full success. So even though some things, or even most things, are really, really good, you can't ground yourself sufficiently if you're not balanced. So let me say that again. Even though most things are good, you know that until you can ground yourself sufficiently, you can't get past that one thing, that one area that's tied up, that's off balance, that's wonky. And so you might be somebody who knows what you know and knows it should be easier and knows even what to do, but you keep bumping up on that one thing. It might look like it should be easy to get you, get there, but it drives you nuts that you can't, right? So my name's Eliza Bloom Robinson. I'm a transformational catalyst, like I said. What that means is I help women primarily, come to the green growing edges of their awareness. That means we'll come out to the outer edges of their success. We then look at, discover what the obstacle is, what the pattern is, what the invisible glass ceiling is, what the habit pattern is that keeps you from full success in all areas of your life. We then, through my signature system, will dismantle it, dissolve it, shatter it. We will use a process that actually is a part of the quantum mechanics to open up the pathways, right? And once we open up the pathways, what you experience is clarity, balance, greater success. Pathways open up into and in ways that you can't even begin to imagine, because you're aligning with the heart and soul of yourself and the heart and soul of your business. So back to that tree, I help people strengthen the trunk of the tree, deepen the root system for further and deeper nourishing and nurturing, so that the tree can once again become whole and full, so that you once again, or maybe for the first time ever, can experience true balance and true success in every area of your life. My background has been in the spiritual world for 30 years. I have been guiding people just like you through spiritual practices, through universal life mastery principles, through awakening to a deeper awareness of that which is within you, both what holds you back and also what's yearning to come forward. So, I'm so glad that you're here. How would it be for you? How would it be for you if everything flowed? How would it be for you if you had success in every area of your life, and not super over the board success that stresses you out, right? But that you had the life that you love. How would it be for you if your finances were where you wanted them or even greater? That your health was better than it's ever been in your whole life. That your relationships, both your intimate relationships, your romantic ones, your partners, but also with your parents or your children or your coworkers or your colleagues or your friends, was really rich. How would it be if you had time freedom? How would it be for you if you really had booked into your calendar time to sit and read a novel, or go for a hike, or do those things that nurture your heart and soul? How would it be for you to be doing a vocation that you totally love, where you wake up in the morning and like, yeah, it's so great? Can you begin to imagine it? And begin to imagine it. So imagine if you were living the life of your dreams, and maybe you already are, right? But maybe there's still that one thing. Imagine if that final piece fell into place, like everything was working. Imagine it. Imagine it right now in a way that activates your feeling nature. So imagine yourself 3 years in the future, like everything's mastered, like things are rocking and rolling. Like your health is so great. Your relationships are so rich. Your money is flowing abundantly. Your vocation is working. Your clients, your business, whatever it is working. You have the time. Feel it. Like imagine it 3 years in the future and feel it. What are you doing? What are you being? What are you feeling? Just expanding into that. Put it on, like trying on a new outfit. Like try it on. How does it feel? And what do you notice in your body as you do that? You might notice that your eyes light up. You might notice that your shoulders drop or your chest opens. You might notice that you feel taller or lighter or brighter. So just lean into it. Like, take it on. We're going to start with this. It's very important to activate this first. And then ask yourself the question, what would it take? What would it take to be there? Right? Don't go to your head. Don't try to figure it out. Just feel it energetically. What would it take? So as you lean into your success, as you lean into your dream, as you lean into your vision, take a moment to acknowledge all that's good, that's already good, right? All the places that are working really, really well. Take a moment to acknowledge it. It's so important to do this, and especially as women, but all of us, we bypass that so often. And so just breathe into it and go, oh yeah, that's good. Oh yeah, that's good. Oh yeah, that's good. Oh, and that's really awesome. And that is really cool. What we're doing when we're acknowledging success is we're activating and we're memorizing a frequency of success. So bring your awareness back now to the present moment, right? Acknowledging all the success that is there, opening to all the possibilities, expanding into all of the good. Right? There you go. There you go. Feel that. Breathe into that. Very nice. So this works and that works and this is really good and that's awesome and this is amazing. But secretly, you carry a secret. Maybe you're embarrassed, maybe you're even ashamed that you could so seemingly have it all together and yet not quite have it all together. That it could look so good from the outside, but you've got that secret place that you know there's something missing. Maybe you're feeling lost or confused or lonely. Maybe you're so tied up in knots that you can't see clearly. Do you feel maybe perhaps self-conscious, where you appear confident in the other world, but you doubt yourself? And people look at you and they have no idea that your confidence is shaky. In this one area of your life, maybe you see no possibility of trusting yourself or not even having really any idea of what to do. So feel into that. It feels counterintuitive, but we're going to feel into that, push into that pain, that lonely, that frustration, that irritation, that shame, even that embarrassment. Maybe it's about making more money than your partner or than your friends or even your colleagues. Maybe it's about feeling like you have to wear this mask all the time. We've mentioned before, maybe it's your weight or your health. Maybe you've gained weight and you can't figure out how to get a handle on it. Or maybe your health. Something's acting up in your health. I have, a number of people that I know personally have struggled with weight gain. One of my friends and colleagues said, I would try for a whole year, more than a year, to lose this 20 pounds and I can't lose it. And I made $500,000 this year. But the truth is you can have it all. You just have to find the pathway. You just have to release those, what we call upper limit problems or issues or challenges. Maybe you've reached such a level of success and now another layer of doubt comes in. I know. I've been there too. I've been there. I spent 16 years as a minister teaching and leading church ministry. And when I came out of that a few years ago, I thought it would be so easy to step into this entrepreneurial world. I thought, I'm just leaving the church walls to go into a bigger realm, a church without walls, to reach the people who are unchurched or want to be not church, not even unchurched, but non-churched, right? There's millions and millions of people who do this work, who want this work, who are hungry for this work that I could not reach within the context of a local ministry. So I'm stepping out to do that. But I will tell you, quite vulnerably, being vulnerable, how about that? That it's taken a whole new muscle. It's taken a whole new vision. It's taken a dismantling of my own beingness, a removal of the mantle of minister in order to reveal a deeper part of myself that's allowing me to go out into the world in a whole new way. It rocked my confidence. I know my work is brilliant. I know the results that my clients get are phenomenally fabulous, and yet my confidence in doing a business initially was so rocked, and I was embarrassed by that. I was ashamed by that. I couldn't find my footing in that for a while, and then it becomes to come together and together and together, and it takes a process, and very, very often it takes a guide. It takes somebody outside of yourself to be able to look and see and guide the process. And so I'll share more about my journey in maybe not in this webinar, but on all of my lives and in my work. My life is really, really, really good. My life has been good for a long time, and I have had more than one moment where it falls apart. I talk about an awakening I had, a mystical experience I had back in 1994. That's a long time ago, I know, but like everything was good. Like everything was like, oh yeah, it's rocking and rolling. And in the matter of, felt like a moment, but a couple of weeks, probably everything fell apart. And I mean fell apart. I mean everything fell apart. I was a single mom with 2 little kids, and I had fallen in love with this guy, and I'd moved across country not only once but twice with him, not even to follow him, but with him. And that relationship then fell apart, and we were all the way across country, didn't know a soul, and everything crumbled around me, and I hit my knees. I just hit my knees, and I just prayed to that which I called God, or I called God at that moment. I said, I obviously can't manage my own life. Help me, show me. And I made a covenant in that moment. It wasn't from my brain. I didn't think about it happening. It just sort of came. And that covenant was basically that you open the door, Spirit, open the door, show me the way, and I'll take the step. So my covenant was to do what's put in front of me. And I've done that for all of these years since, 25 years since, 30 years since, whenever, however long it's been, right? And that has led me to places I would have never even dreamed of going. But that wasn't the only time my life fell apart. I call it divine discontent. You know, everything's great, and then everything's kind of okay, and then it's like, wait a minute, what? And so in those moments, especially, it's important to get a guide. It's important to work with somebody, to have something bigger than yourself to lead you through. But I did, and I have, and I continue to discover the way through. And I know why success in one area of your life can cause stress in others. And it's what we've been talking about. Until you find that place where all things are working together for a greater good in your life, success will cause stress. success does, let me say that way, success does bring you to an edge, right? It's an up-leveling every time we have a degree of success, every time we have a win, every time we expand in any area of our lives, our health or our well-being or our time or our money or relationships. It causes a growth spurt that can, just by nature, cause the rest of the system to kind of whack out a bit. But it's that whack out a bit that we get to pay attention to. And when we pay attention to it, that is when and how we can use our stress for greater success. Think about the pendulum swing. Like at still point, nothing moves, right? But the higher the swing, if we go positive, negative, we don't really like to use that, but it's an easy visual. You know, the bigger the positive, it feels like the bigger the negative. It feels like, it doesn't have to be, but if you don't pay attention, it can catch you unaware. It can throw you off balance. The other thing that happens when we increase our success is the old set point, right? The old norm will rear its head, basically. If you, like, let's play with money. So if you have a set point where you can easily pick your own number, I'm going to use 50,000, right? Easily make 50,000, that's comfortable. I can go up to 55, 60 even, and then I stall out. But if you jump up then to 75 or 100, right, then all of your old patterning will pop up to try to bring you back down to 50. It's not about a dollar amount, right? But it's about a set point that we have in our consciousness. Think about the thermostat. The thermostat is set at 72 degrees. It gets a little higher and the air conditioning pops on and brings it down. It gets a little lower, the heat pops on and brings it up. And so until we're really addressing those deep core hidden patterns, they're going to bump up. Now there's a lot of ways that you can navigate through those. We're going to give you an experience right now. We're going to give you an experience. I have a dear client. Her name is Kelly, and we're going to jump in, and I actually recorded one of the sessions Kelly and I had together, and we're going to share pieces of that with you so you get a real life experience of shifting, of transcending a level of stress in your life and turning it to a greater success. So just a little setup about this. Kelly is very, very successful. She is phenomenal in the work that she does. And I'm not going to tell too much. You'll get a lot of it in the video because we're going to run some video of Kelly here in a moment. But for this experience, we're going to start, and Kelly and I have talked about what's really underlying. And so she's feeling this sense of overwhelm. So I want you, as a listener right now, to go ahead and activate a sense of overwhelm. It might be something you know really, really well, or it might be something that you don't normally live with. But for the experience, because you can also have a healing and a clearing at the same time as Kelly. So go ahead and activate that sense of overwhelm. And we're going to jump in to Kelly's process.
It feels a little bit counterintuitive, but where we're going to start today is to reactivate that feeling of overwhelm.
Okay.
So from this place of being totally like where you are now, allow the remembering and the experience of being overwhelmed and frantic. Like, let it come in your body. Let it, like, whoa.
Yeah, my shoulders are already going.
Right?
Yeah, my neck.
Yeah. All of that energy all around you, like, wow. Right? And this is so perfect because this is something that virtually all of us experience at some
point. We do all experience that.
Right. So as you activate that overwhelm, as you feel that overwhelm in your being, where do you notice that it lands the deepest?
A couple places. Probably the most immediate is that the back of my neck, and just it all around my throat, and just a tightening, a tension. Yeah. And then in my stomach too. Just kind of that, that rock in the pit of your stomach feeling where, that comes with anxiety for me. Yeah.
Yeah. So activating those areas, the back of the neck, the throat, I can feel my throat tightening as you talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. That's the feeling, like, yeah.
Right? And then also that pit in the stomach, just notice it, acknowledge it, feel it, and let it be activated, which means in this body of work, when we activate something, especially what we would call a negative emotion or a negative experience, we're just beginning to free it from the cells of our being and the cells of our consciousness, because we wouldn't know it or acknowledge it if it wasn't stored in our body somewhere.
Right, right.
So the idea of activating it is beginning to loosen it.
Okay.
It's like if you have, let's see, a pearl that's covered in mud.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? You have to begin to soften the mud
Mm-hmm.
in order to activate the pearl. So it's kind of like that,
Right.
sort of opposite of that, but kind of exactly like that.
Yeah, it's an unearthing. Yeah, it's a digging up and a shining a shining a light on. Yeah, I see that.
And so we took Kelly through a process of following the thread or the current of her overwhelm from her neck, from her throat, from her belly. We followed that all the way down through her consciousness using a technique, my signature system actually, and got a hold of the place where it was anchored in her system, where the place where it was originated as a thought pattern that then became the foundation of her consciousness. And so you wouldn't have it, you wouldn't know it if you didn't have it. So we followed that through. Can't do that whole process within the context of this webinar, but all the way down. So for you right now, follow that overwhelm down as best you can to the place, like imagine in your mind's eye that you go to where overwhelm is hooked into your awareness or your unawareness, and unhook that. We carried her then through a process of unearthing, that was the word Kelly used, unearthing that, removing it, and then landing in the place where she is now. So let's go back to Kelly.
Oh, this feeling of just limitless, just this weightless feeling of no restriction, no limits, absolute open creativity.
So we're going to begin to anchor and integrate this new energy. So if it had a phrase, like maybe even an I am statement or a symbol or an image, that is actually replacing I'm overwhelmed, I'm frantic, I'm frazzled. It's actually, we're going to actually transcend that. We'll tie it all together in a minute. But what would your statement be right here in this experience of being opened and confident and supported?
An image keeps coming to me of like before and after. And the one is dissolving away and being replaced by this new image, and that is of a butterfly, and butterflies aren't really my thing, so that's interesting. Just that light, weightless. I can go, it's hopping from flower to flower and going wherever it needs to go and doing whatever it needs to do and wants to do. Yeah.
And so the statement that would describe that butterfly, is it something like maybe I am free, or I am?
Yeah, I am free. Yeah, that's it.
Ooh, so just say that out loud a couple of times.
Yeah, I am free. I am completely free.
So energetically, we're just going to integrate it through all aspects of your being. So just receive, Feel the I am free, feel it moving through.
And so for you, as you're feeling that, you can take Kelly's statement, I am free, or perhaps you have one of your own, and we're going to integrate that. We're going to just replace. So if you had I'm overwhelmed as a basis, as an underlying flavor in the foundation of your beingness, and it is now being replaced with I am free, go ahead and say it out loud a couple of times. And say it not with your brain or even your mouth. Say it with your being. Feel the energy. Feel the vibration. Feel the opening in all aspects of your being. I am free. Maybe with surprise. Oh, I am free. I am free. I am free. What if trading I'm overwhelmed with I am free is the exact key that will move you forward? So breathing into I am free, let it moving in and through your body, feel it. Become it. Allow it. And we're going to go back to Kelly once again.
I am absolutely free. I am completely free.
So in this place, take a look around. Look first at your belly. What's happening in your belly?
Oh, just I'm rocking back and forth. It's like,
yeah.
It's just this light, fun, glittery, sort of playful feeling. Yeah, it's awesome.
So look in your neck, your back, your neck, your throat. What do you know?
Like my entire spine and all those centers are just like moving around and just getting realigned. Yeah. That's some kind of magic, girl.
Isn't it crazy magic? So one more,
because I have, done so much personal work, and yeah, that's really crazy good is what that is. It's crazy good.
It is crazy good. So one more piece. Take a look at your sense of overwhelm and frantic that you had just moments ago. And where is that right now in your awareness?
Oh, it's kind of like, you're walking in the park or in the forest, and a leaf lands on your shoulder, and you're like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
It's not a big, of course it's not a thing. It's just, I can focus on it if I want to, and I could pretend that it's a bug or whatever, but it's not. It's just nothing. Yeah.
And so take this into your day, into your busy week, into all the projects that you have going on this week, the professional ones, but also the personal ones, all of it. Take this place of being into all of that, and what do you notice? How are you different?
Well, it doesn't seem like this pile of stuff now. It seems like it's just, there's just a row of things, and I can do them as, I'm ready and able to. And it doesn't seem like this mountain of stuff, that has to be done, and you have to sort it, and, you don't have to do all that. It's just all clear. It's very clear and clean and open. My task list immediately has gone from a mountain to this clean line of things to do. It's not a big deal. I can do that.
Right.
Not a big deal.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. How cool is that?
That's a big pile.
Well, here's what happens. It's like when we have a foundation of being that says, I have to work hard and I'm only valued if I'm exhausted and I can't take care of myself. That's the whole foundation from which you've lived your life.
Right.
only, but really,
It is a foundational. It is, absolutely. I can see
right.
that.
And so when you can lift that out like we did here, and the reason this works so magically is because we're playing in the quantum field, we're using quantum technology, and we're actually changing your subconscious, which changes everything for all time. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't still might have a habit thought
Sure,
pattern, and you
sure.
might still go back to like, oh yeah, I should be overwhelmed.
Mhm.
But what you have now is you have a new landing point. And the more often that you come back into this place where you are right now, I'm completely and totally free, like energetically,
Right.
vibrationally land there, you actually build new neural pathways.
Yeah,
And this becomes the new foundation of your being.
that's amazing.
Can you see how that might impact everything?
Maybe just a little.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Yeah, right. So here's the deal. This is like one time. You've had a couple sessions now. This is like one time. Every single time, every single session opens up pathways. But can you imagine if you were within a container of, say, 12 weeks or 6 months, and you were supported in really doing the clearing work
Right.
to clear so much of this out that you could really, and the other flip side is also to build the dream and to build what would you love and really activate the flip side
Mhm.
and really step into a place in your own being, as we call this your divine or most authentic essence,
Right.
and bring that forth. Can you imagine what that might do in your life?
I can. I can imagine that. It's pretty cool.
Yes. And would you like that?
Yeah, that's amazing. Absolutely. How could you
Yes.
not? I mean, of course.
So take a deep breath and breathe out. Ah. You were probably able to experience the shift and the change in Kelly from when she first talked about the tension, the overwhelm, the frantic that she was experiencing in her throat and her neck and in her belly, and the end. And wasn't it great to see her sort of moving around? She went on to talk about imagining doing the dishes, just sort of in this bounce. She went on to talk about how her chiropractor, her healer, her physical healer, had tried for months and months and months, oh, and her yoga teacher, to get some movement into her hips. And through this process of basically falling into ease, falling out of overwhelm and into free, falling into ease, she automatically got movement in her hips. She had a fluidity that she never had in her whole life. So for you right now, feel the relief. Notice where it is. I'm confident that you have experienced a relief. You just need to find it. So just take a moment to scan your body. Where is the place that feels a little different? Just from getting the snippet of falling into ease. Just from getting a little snippet of the possibility of using your stress to find the exact key that will open up to greater success. And so for a moment, breathe into full success. What would it be? We started here a little while ago, right? What would it be to have success in every area of your life? What would it be to have balance? Not as static balance, but fluid balance. Like the money's there, the health's there, the relationship's there, the time and money freedom's there. Boom, 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 boom. How does that feel? Using your stress to create success. Answering the question, does your success cause you stress? Answering that in a new way, rewiring those connections that allows you to fall into ease in a deeper way can be the exact thing, the one thing that will move you forward. And so a key here is being able to connect the dots between your thoughts and your emotions and the experiences that you have in life. So if you're having an experience in life, like you've gained weight, or you're lonely, or you're secretly in doubt, or you're hiding, or you're embarrassed or ashamed, or whatever it is, when you notice that there's something happening in your experience, you can track it back by using the emotion to track back to the causative thought. It will not be a conscious thought. It will be a subconscious thought. You can learn how to manage stress in a successful manner if you stop, look, see, tell the truth, follow it back, unhook the old belief, and replant it with, transcend it with a new belief. I am free is a brilliant one. It's one that all of us can use, right? So take a breath, whew, and fall into ease. When you learn how to manage stress in a successful manner, you will catapult forward in your life. Stress is something that we have on our planet, and in our current society we have that a lot. What I bring is a signature system of release and activation. As I said to Kelly, the release, the clearing is one part, right? But it's not the whole picture, because you also need to activate the idea, the feeling, the experience of success in all areas. We do that through what would you love? What would you dream? Can you imagine in 3 years what your life would be like if it's perfect, if it's brilliant, if it's beyond your wildest imaginations? That's an important piece of the activation. When you can release and activate, you will free the stress, and you will be able to celebrate a deeper, broader, more expanded, more lasting, and more impactful success in every area of your life. How does that sound? If it sounds appealing, if it sounds interesting, if it sounds curious, I have a little something for you that I have prepared. It's a PDF document, and it's available just simply by entering your email address and requesting it. It's called Simple Tips for Life's Difficult Moments. It is filled with 21 very simple, easy to do hacks, basically life hacks, right? So when you notice a stress happening, you can open up this booklet and you can pick one of 21 different practices, different tools, different activations to begin to shift your stress to a deeper success. If you would love some more information about that, click on this free gift link. And if you would love some support, I've also put my calendar here, a link to my calendar. I offer a free consultation call to anybody who has watched this webinar, and I would be happy, I would be honored to talk with you about your experience and look and find the one way, the one key that will move you forward. Eliminating stress or using stress in order to experience a greater success, also known as falling into ease. I thank you so much for being here. I thank you so much for watching all the way through. My name is Eliza Bloom Robinson, Transformational Catalyst. You can find me at divine-awakening.org and click below and find your link to book your own consultation call. It has been my honor to share with you today. I look forward to speaking to you real soon. I look forward to supporting you on your path to greater success with way less stress. Join with me in the revolution of falling into ease. Many blessings and so much love. With ease and in joy. Bye-bye, everyone.